Good morning and sliding into afternoon. You have Nana here, also known as Judy Allen, here in San Antonio, Texas. And today we are going to make our third alternative from our Farmhouse Floral Kit. And we're going to case. We're not going to case exactly. We're going to do a little different, but I just want to show you where it's coming from. Because on Wednesday, I showed you where we were casing from the catalog, but it was still different. And today we're doing the same thing, but it's from online. All right? So let's go down the hands and let's do it. It's Friday, right? And it is weekend time. All right, so here's what we've already created. Here's the two alternatives we did before. And these were actually designs in the kit. So what happens each month when a kit comes out, they do put out there. Let me show you this one here. Oh, I'll have to go get those lights. See right there? Yeah. Okay, that's what we're gonna case today. It's gonna be casing it, but I don't have the hello, and had to take a look sometimes. Let me get the light out of our eyes. There we go. Let's get those spots out there. Okay. So what they did is I literally took this card here, right? It's in the kit, and they covered it. In fact, at first I was going, I don't remember seeing that. And I know I don't have the word hello. If I have it, oh, no, I don't have that. If I have it, I don't know where it would be. All right, so what we have to do is we have to take this right here and modify it, because they actually have it down just like this right here. So all I'm going to do is take my scissors that I just had, and we're just going to modify this, right? So what they've done is they've just put this here, and they just come along this line here, because it's going to really be hidden in the blue down here, right? Because it's dark. So we can put dark on dark. Now the other thing that they did too is they trimmed everything up to right here. Okay, when I say trim, I mean like, okay, so we're going to come around this right here. I was looking at it as I was telling it to you there. And they're just going to come around. It looks like they did just this right here. They basically took this whole frame right here. So when we case, we might case it exactly, or we may do it very similarly, but just a little bit different, okay? So ours is going to be very similar, but a little bit different. Because I really liked what we did before, and that is taking the ink spot and etching around the edges a little bit more. Yep, but I'm looking at my phone. My phone screen just went dark, but it's like, I have to be sure that I do not show you my password if my phone goes dark and I have to boot it back up. Alright, and we're going to do this right here. And I'm just going to cut around this because we're actually, I don't know exactly what their technique was when they did it, but we're going to mimic it as much as we can. So what I did is we previously, when we did the swipe design, I had actually sat up there and I had set up there and actually cut out these little flowers and everything and all, and we just put it up on dimensionals, right? So some of the stuff is covered so you really can't see. So that's part of it. Okay, so when you're looking at this, you're going like, wow, how are you going to do this? Well, this is what they did. They just turned around and put it right over here. Right, because the flowers match. In fact, I'm going to make sure these show a little bit more. They didn't do that. Maybe they did. It was just covered. I don't know. We can get this a little bit more in here. So I want those flowers, if I can, to show. And if I have to put this on dimensionals to make that happen too, because theirs doesn't look like it's on dimensionals. I don't know. But see how those flowers right there are the exact flowers right here. We got the yellow ones over here to the side that we can't see now. If I move a little bit lower, I can, right? Because I can go as low as I want to go. It doesn't matter. And I got the purple ones over here. But if I put this up on dimensionals, you won't be able to see the typewriter behind there. Let's just put it on dimensionals. One thing about dimensionals is that you can peel them off. This is nice, heavy cardstock, right? So even if I peeled it off, it wouldn't be that bad. Sometimes if you do it on regular cardstock, it'll peel the paper. You'll take some of the paper with you. But with this is really, really heavy duty. We would call this like thick, right? Thick, like we have very vanilla thick cardstock, and we have very We have white, basic white cardstock, thick cardstock, right? So it's sort of the same concept. This is just real nice and heavy, like if you're going to make a box or something. All right, so let's go ahead and get this off, and we'll get this over here. So this one's just sort of a quick and easy. I went ahead and prepped some of the stuff ahead of time. I didn't want to give you a exercise in fussy cutting, but see how if I just line this just so, I can get that down here. I can still see my yellow flowers. I can still see the purple over here, and I was going to etch the ends of that. And I'm looking to see how I could still do that if I wanted to. Well, if I still wanted to do it, this is what I would do. You know how I told you how easy it is to take it off? Well, this is just how easy it is. There you go. Oh, there you go. It's Friday, right? We got the weekend. I don't know what you, but I plan on chilling. Because I'm thinking right now, I need to chill. All right, I'm just going to do the edges. This is what I did when we did on the other one, when we did the swipe. I just gave a little darker edges, especially right here. I'm not worried about the vase and all, because we're going to put something up on the vases, okay? But I just want to do those edges right there. I just like it. I think it looks nice. And, you know, if you wanted to have a little bit of a more rustic, then you can sit there and let it go over like that, and we'll chalk it. Chalk it. Okay, let me do that again. Right? So you can see what I did I was trying to think what I did the other day. It was like when I was live, I did something and it was like, oh, MG. Had an opportunity for creativity. Oh, I did it upside down. That's what I did. But I used Velcro to solve the problem. All right, so I already did this once before when I did this one here. I sat there and I lifted this up. I lifted this one up, and I just took my bone folder and caused the leaves and all to do that right here to flicker just a little bit like that. So I'm going to do the same thing here. In just a second here. Okay, there we go. Just trying to see what I had going there. Okay, so I didn't do this ahead of time, so let me go ahead and do this one right here. So I can have exactly some sort of, what I'm doing is, right, I'm casing what they did, and I'm casing what I did before too. Because I can, right? We can do anything we want to when we create. I think that's why I enjoy creating like this, is because we do whatever we want. You're not going to get a grade, right? We're to have fun, enjoy what we're doing. Let's see, I'm trying to think what else I did. Okay, I just came around just like this here, and came around these flowers. So that's what I like, right? There is no right or wrong. It's just about you or I, right? That we just enjoy ourselves. Okay, yep, I'm thinking that's how I did it. And enjoy what we do, right? We're not going to be judged. You know, and I have a couple of friends that just recently been diagnosed with cancer. And we're going to be seeing what we can do to send words of encouragement. Right? Send them some happy mail. Because life, you know, we can make a difference in touch someone else's life and help make their day. And I like doing that. I don't know if you like to do that, but you know what? It's all about creating, sharing, and giving. And sometimes we just have to do more giving and loving on some people because they need it, right? Alright, so I am going to put this one on, but let me go ahead and get this one down on glue first. And let me see. I'm going to go ahead and curve these. Right, so I already know. So once we finish all this stuff, I already know who these are going to. Right? Just give some words of encouragement. Know they're thought of and they're not forgotten. You know, because sometimes when people are seriously ill, people do. They don't know what to say or do, so people stay away from them, and that's when they really need you the most, right? So just keep that in mind. You know, one time before, I was going to someone's house to help them, you know, when I could, right? It wasn't like every day. So maybe I committed to once a week, and always several of us rotated. But, you know, just they get isolated, right? Because they have to have treatment or everything. End up becoming isolated. And, you know, nobody likes to be isolated. We're creatures, we're social beings, right? I know when I sat there and broke my ankle and lived on a sofa practically for 9 months, it seemed like. It was close to a year between physical therapy and everything, you know. There's a story behind that, but it's no big deal. Anyway, I know just from that experience, right, what it was like to be sitting on a sofa. And I had 2 friends in all that time frame. Twice did I have somebody come over and at least say hello and visit with me out of 9 months. So 2 visits in 9 months. I have to tell you, it was pretty lonely because I'm not a TV person. You know, I watch movies, you know, so forth and so on. I'm used to doing things, right? So I've definitely got a vacation from the aspect of, if you want to look at it from the aspect of sitting on a sofa and not being able to do anything. So I know what it's like. So yes, we don't want to leave other people out. If people get lonely without even having something happen to them, right? So we need to keep that in mind. Yeah, we need to keep that in mind and keep other people, right? Because you never know. Someday it might be you. Not wishing any ill on anybody, but it might be you, and you would want somebody to come visit you or send you a card, right? Something. Okay, I can put this on dimensionals too. Hold on, it feels like I'm giving a lecture today. If this shoe fits, wear it. Oh my gosh. I'm looking forward to some cooler weather. It won't come until like October the 1st. We're still in the 90s, going to be in the 90s, well into the 90s until then. Alright, so this is going to look very similar. Let me put it over a little bit. Very, very similar. And you're going to see that. And it's okay if the flowers and everything show in the back, right? Just trying to get this over just a little bit more if I can. I just want my vase to line up, okay? That's all I want to do. The flowers I'm not worried about, because when flowers don't line up, it just looks like you get more flowers in there, right? It's like right here. It looks like I got more flowers in there. And I'm not really worried about this because this little tag's going to go right here. And I might have to size it down a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to get XOXO on here. And I already have my block ready to go. Yes, I always think of this. I always do this with family members and friends. I always get my XOs on there. Yeah, so see how this is very tiny stamp. And I just needed enough to show, right? Let them know I'm sending some hugs and kisses there. Not about kisses, but definitely some hugs, right? Some warm hugs. And I'm just going to trim it right there. That's all you got to do. And then we're just going to put it on here. Now I would use a glue dot, and that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to just put this on here with a glue dot. And I'm just going to put it to the side here where it looks like it's going to come off the handle there. Hello, Bertner. Okay. I bet you have plans this weekend. She was making grapes last weekend, picking grapes and working, smashing those that can make it into wine. Alright, I'm just going to put this right here, right? So I'm just going to put it right here. You can have it hanging down, right? Whatever. If you want it smaller, I already did this in advance. I thought, okay, if I want it smaller and we need it smaller, then fine. We're just going to tug it because it's just in a simple bow. Got my glue dot off. This is tiny. I always think of my friend Pat Hoover when I think of dealing with these little bows. The amount of ribbon. Yeah, we all got friends, right? Okay, so let me put it back on there. So we're just making it look like it came off the handle there, right? Alright, so we got it glued there. Now, this is leftovers. I have choices of leftovers. I have this that I thought, so the sentiment I'm going to put here is always here for you. Okay, so that's pretty big for this. Alright, so we'll put that aside. I have some smaller ones. See, I got all these left over from before. Okay, that one's not quite wide enough, so I'm going to think we're going to go with the circle. Okay, the circle will work just fine. Right? It's all about creating. I think that's really cool. I mean, just the time we made dandelion wine, that was really cool. And I've never made just regular wine, but I think that'd be cool. I think of our some of our founding ladies. I know Martha Washington and all. They used to make their own wine. So when the guys had their stuff, they had theirs to sip on. All right, and I'm just going to put this up on dimensionals, and I'm going to actually take the brown just like I did a while ago. And I'm just going to come and etch the edges right here. Just give it some little extra color, right? And it'll match everything else. And I was trying to think if I have any bling handy. Right, we always have leftovers, so if you get some leftover bling, that'd be a nice addition. Right? Let's see if I have any. I don't think I have any handy or leftovers from any previous kits. I see the Grinch earrings, but let's see. Wrong time. Yep, I don't have any bling right handy from leftovers, but I'll go dig into my stash. I have a stash. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put this up on dimensionals too. And you know what? If you run out, just take this and tear it off. It tears off real easy. But I want them to know, right? I want to know that I'm here for them if they need me. Yes. Then I'm just gonna put it right here. Okay. All right, now the only other thing I'm going to do is add some sparkle with some Wink of Stella, because that's what Wink of Stella does best. And I just added to the flowers, so if I'm going to show you, now I'm going to add to the flowers back here too, right? They don't have to be neglected for Wink of Stella. Everybody needs a little Wink of Stella for some little sparkle, right? Just like the flowers and everything looks like in the fresh morning. If you went outside and looked at them first thing in the morning, you would see how sparkly they look with a little dew on them. Okay, now just sort of dab it everywhere, okay? So the sparkle will be everywhere. All right, I think I got everything. All right, so let me show you what I did before. So we sort of combined a little bit, right? So here is the one I made before. And I sort of took the same thing right out of here, right? And did that right there. Then if you take a look at, let me get my phone out of the way so I'm not giving away my password. Oh, my techie guy got after me. So this is what they had here. So so number one, we didn't have the hello, so we added a circle, right? And we could still do the XO and XO. And we added some color around our frame, and we definitely did Wink of Stella, and we definitely did some more lifting up and cutting of the flowers and details than they did there. So rice and wheat cakes doesn't mean we always have to do exactly the same thing, right? Sometimes it just means that it's going to be similar. And in this particular case, it's very similar to what they did. I didn't have like the hello, so don't sweat it. Just get what you have, right? In this particular case, I didn't have the hello, so I went and just pulled from my previous kit. So that's why I always tell you, right, that when you sit up there and have leftovers from your kits, because we always have leftovers from our kits, right? So just save them. Now, like me, I have mine saved, and I have them set aside to do some cards for kids at the hospital. So I'll have to go pull my extra stuff from there. But I have bling. I always have plenty of bling, right? So just find some bling. I'll find some bling to put on here, and that way when it's posted, you'll see it with the bling. Right? But it's just save your leftovers from your kits to use them for other things upcoming, right? So with that, keep in mind we want to create, share, and give. And whatever we create and give it to, they're going to love it, all right? You're going to make their day, and you're going to make a difference. So it's all about creating, sharing, and giving. So I want to thank you for supporting us, not only here, but also on YouTube and Instagram. And this, we'll have the video posted on YouTube, because right, Facebook only has a set limit of time now where they delete them, so you'll find them actually out there on YouTube, all right, along with photos. So with that, be blessed, have an amazing weekend, and Deborah, you have a fun time going to the lake. I know you're always doing something up there, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week with Teach Me Nana. Bye.